I was always crazy about movies from early childhood. And there was even a time when I was about 19 or 20 when I thought I'd like to become a filmmaker. But then I realized that my personality was wrong. I was so shy then. I couldn't talk in front of people. And I realized if I can't talk, how can I direct films? So I gave up that idea. But I remained an ardent cinephile. And I've studied films carefully because I find the good ones so interesting. As a writer, however, I don't think my novels have much to do with movies at all. My novels tend to be these rolling narratives with not a lot of scenes and not a tremendous amount of dialogue. Some books, some more than others, but in general, little dialogue. But I've referred to films in my books. And one novel, The Book of Illusions, really is about a vanished filmmaker from the silent era. I'm just deeply absorbed in film. In Man in the Dark, there's a grandfather and his granddaughter who's in her 20s, and she's a film student, and they talk about films. And she has this theory, which is actually my theory, about how in certain great films, how inanimate objects are used as vehicles to express human emotions. And so they talk about scenes in films like The Bicycle Thief, Tokyo Story, Grand Illusion, The World of Apu. Those are the four they talk about. And in each of those films, there is a moment when the dialogue ceases altogether, and all the emotional weight is carried by a hairpin, dishes being taken off the table, a package of linen that's being sold to a pawn shop, and the watch in Tokyo Story at the end. So I think, you see, with great filmmakers like the four we're talking about, Renoir and Ozu and De Sica and Ray, they're as good as novelists, these people. I mean, they're telling stories that are so human and so alive to the subtleties of life as we know it, that, you know, it's great literature, too.
He's a writer. Lives in the neighborhood.
Smoke came out of, you know, a commission from the New York Times. The editor of the op-ed page wanted a Christmas story on Christmas Day. And I was stuck. I really didn't know what to do. I'd never even written a short story. He said he wanted something about New York. I mean, that was the only thing he said. And then I was looking at my cigars, you know, these things which I still smoke. Schimmelpenninck, these Dutch cigars, little cigars. And I started thinking about the man who sold them to me, because I used to, you know, walk over to a store once a week or so to buy. And he was a very nice guy. And so I looked at the cigars, I started thinking about him and how in neighborhoods in New York, big cities, you nevertheless have these relationships with people. They're not friendships, certainly not friendships, but they're warm acquaintanceships that enhance daily life, make it better, make you feel that you're not just an anonymous number living in an anonymous metropole. And we had some very nice conversations. And so anyway, Augie was not based on him. His character is entirely different. But that was the spark. Wayne Wang, the filmmaker, who lives in San Francisco, read the story in the paper on Christmas Day. And he thought this was the kernel of an idea for something that might turn out to be a good film.
Hey, Augie. How's it going?
Hey, man. Good to see you. What can I do for you today?
2 tins of Schimmelpenninks and throw in a lighter while you're at it.
Can you talk a little bit about the scene between Paul Benjamin and Augie where they're going through the photo album? I think that when he's taking those photos of his cigar shop every day, the same spot, like he's almost kind of studying the change of the neighborhood.
They're all the same.
That's right. Well, the 4,000 pictures are the same place.
What was behind that scene, and can you just discuss that?
I don't know. I think that is comes from the original short story, but until that moment, it is, I don't understand what you're doing. They're all the same. And then Augie explains, no, they're not all the same. Everyone is the same place, but every day is different from every other day. The people in the frame change, the seasons change, the light changes, the clothes change. And if you're really watching carefully, you see how richly lived every moment is. And I think it's one of the best moments in the film.
I'm curious when you first visited Park Slope and what made you decide to settle here.
Well, I moved to Brooklyn. It was January of 1980. So we're approaching January 2012, 32 years ago. So I've been here a long time, half my life. And I had not spent much time here. But I discovered that I liked the neighborhood a lot. There's just more going on in the streets, more heterogeneous population. And even today, still, I walk down the street and I hear 7 different foreign languages being spoken simultaneously. So we like the animation of the neighborhood and all the different people here. And that goes on now still. There's a little place that I go to buy sandwiches to take to my little work room in the neighborhood and I talked about it in the Brooklyn Follies novel from 6 or 7 years ago. And there is a place called Bagel Delight. And it's a real place.
I've been there
You've been
many
there.
times, yeah.
And now the great thing about this place is everybody goes in there. And I just love to listen to the conversations. And I love the warmth and humor of the guys behind the counter. And they're Hispanic, they're white, everybody's working there. But there's this kind of jocularity to it that I really appreciate. And it was there that the real lines were spoken that I quoted in the novel. To my wife, Siri, about 10 or 12 years ago, she went in and she wanted to buy a cinnamon raisin bagel. But the words got stuck in her mouth and it came out cinnamon Reagan.
Yeah.
And the man behind the counter said, sorry, we don't have any of those, but how about a pumpernickel instead?
Yeah.
I said, these guys are really fast. And there's a quality to Brooklyn life that I've never seen anywhere else in the United States. And I really don't want to leave. I'm hoping as long as I can get up those stairs, I'm going to stay here. And then I thought, well, even if I can crawl up the stairs, I'll stay here.
You can always get one of those chairs installed.
Exactly, those elevator things, yes.